Good morning, everyone. Whilst I'm in Farnborough, I just decided to take the opportunity to actually edit together a video that I've been collecting over the last few weeks. My car is nearly 4 years old, and it was time to do a small bit of maintenance on it. So there was a fair amount of small little things that were starting to wear, and I have to stress the fact that it's wear, not breakage. The car's 4 years old. It's just ticked over 100,000 kilometers, and the things that I had to replace, now this is off the top of my head, so there may or may not be a complete list, but I had to replace 2 tires. I had a chip in the windscreen. I had to replace the drop links in the suspension. They were starting to knock. I had to replace a brake light. And the other thing that also needs replacing are the windscreen wipers. All of which is not excessive, and all of it is wear and tear, with the exception of the drop links. Although I could argue it's also wear and tear because of the way where I drive. There's a fair few speed bumps, potholes, rough road surface. So it was not a surprise to me that the suspension was starting to wear. Every single car I've ever owned has always had problems with the suspension sooner or later, and that was purely because of the roads. Other things that have started to wear are things like brakes, but because I drive an electric car, it actually hasn't really worn a lot. My brakes, when I got the drop links replaced, actually were only at about 50%. It was an estimate, it wasn't measured. It was about 50%, which was quite good. So this is pretty much a episode unlike a normal one where I usually tell things in chronological order. This is sort of a bit of a backdated bit. So the first thing that I had to replace were the front tires. So yeah, the front tires, as you can see, they're pretty worn sideways. I think the alignment is a bit off of the actual wheels. The back ones are not bad, actually. They're not bad and pretty evenly worn. So I'd say the alignment on the front wheels is probably a bit off. But I'll get the tires, the front tires replaced, and I'll put the back tires in the front, put the new tires in the back, do the alignment check and all that kind of stuff, and we'll report to you guys later. All ready to go. So there we are, 2 shiny new front tires. That is 1. And that is 2. The back tires were okay, so we left them on the back. I trusted the opinion of the tyre professional. I am not a mechanic, so that's why I pay people to do these things. And the next thing that needs to be done on the car is that brake light is broken. And just to add to my annoyance, crap. The second thing that wore, or that I got fixed, I should say, was a chip in the windscreen. Now, a lot of the people that I know, that if they have any crack or chip or anything like that in their windscreen, they end up replacing the entire windscreen. I think that is an absolute waste of money, as well as resources, etc, etc. So it was just a tiny little chip. It was out of my field of view. It was down below near the bonnet, but it still needed to be replaced. So one morning, I think it was a Monday, a lovely chap from Auto Glass came over and did this to my windscreen. So that's what it looks like before, and Auto Glass are on the way to come and fix it. So I'll let you maybe see something about the fix, depending on whether or not the guy minds being filmed. and if he doesn't, then this is what it looks like after. Work in progress. Interesting. Now that looks very, very good. I mean, that is really, really well done. So that's another little thing that was wrong with the car that's now fixed. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, I've been driving around with this now for a few weeks, and it actually, I don't really notice it. You notice there's a bit of an outline there, so it's not 100% perfect, but that's absolutely fine for what I need. Absolutely perfect. So that was brilliant. So the next thing that I got fixed were the drop links of the suspension. Now the drop links on the suspension was a little bit of a weird one, because I didn't want to spend a hell of a lot of money on it. So the parts are relatively cheap, I know that. The question is, how was I able to actually buy them and get them fitted? Because a lot of the actual garages around Mallow would only fit parts that they supplied at a premium. But eventually I did manage to get it sorted. So the next part of the sort of little bit of TLC that needs to be done on this car is there's a bit of a knocking coming from one of the, I think it's under the car, and it's primarily when the car is going over wobble, so the sideways motion. I'm hoping it's just something small with the suspension, but the car, after I got the tires checked, the car now needs to get the tracking done. The guy that replaced the tires couldn't do the tracking, so I'm now taking it to a garage that can do the tracking. I am not entirely sure if I can film anything, but I will report back regardless. Yeah, damn it, I got a brake light out as well. Okay, so I'm standing in front of Mallow Auto Parts. I just had a bit of a quick price query on the other parts that I need to get. So as you saw, my brake light is broken. Thank you, dear, for interrupting that with your sound effect. So one of my brake lights is broken, which is fine. It is just a €3 bulb, no problem. But I noticed there's a bit of a knocking coming from the suspension, and that turns out to be the drop links, particularly on the passenger side, so on my left, which is what gets the most abuse in this car. Given it's done 100,000 kilometers, and given I go over probably about a dozen speed bumps 4 times a day, I'm not surprised that they're actually, you know, going or gone. It's not surprising, but it does mean that there's nothing actually physically wrong with the car, which is great. So the drop links are about €20 a piece, and they're an easy fix, so you're looking at probably about €60 all in, which is not bad considering the car has done nearly 100,000 kilometers. Okay, Saturday morning, I just got the drop links replaced at O'Leary's garage in Mallow. Absolutely sound out. Only cost me €50. I bought the parts in Mallow Auto Parts, as you saw earlier, so they cost me roughly €20 each. I have to actually look at the receipt. So that was a total repair of €90, and I got both of them done. Even though one side was the only one that was knocking, it's better to replace both of them just for stability's sake. Let me just see what they actually look like. Let me show you. Let's see now. There we go. See that nice shiny metal rod? That's them. Interesting side note, Pat told me that the brakes are only 50% worn. That's 4 years and nearly 100,000 kilometers and only 50% worn. Then the next thing that I got sorted was my rear brake light. Now, thanks to a video that Craig did a good few moons ago about replacing a brake light, I knew how to replace a brake light. However, he said it was as easy as that, whilst it was easy, I had issues removing a few screws. So the next thing that's wrong is a broken taillight. Now, I've got the bulb. All I need to do is take the actual light off and replace the bulb. Craig put a lovely video up earlier, which I'm now going to follow. Little things. Oh, these little things come out. Now we can take the side off. There's 4 of them. Like this. And then there is this big, huge, massive screw thing here that I can apparently move. Back in a second. Attempt number 2. Are you certain? I'm just bringing it a bit closer. In Craig's video, I'm pretty certain that thing was black and it looked like metal. This most definitely is plastic, and it looks like you either use a giant flat screwdriver or a smaller star one. Let's see if I can remove it. Got it. Finicky enough. Like I said, mine is plastic, and I'm pretty sure Craig's wasn't. Let's see if I can remove the bezel now. Okay, got it off. This is the one that I need to replace. Right here. Just like that. Grab the new one. Just like that. Slide it back in. And try and find this. There we go. And then we're going to reverse the process. And then we're going to reverse the process. Simple as that. Put these back.
Yeah, that works.
So that was that. The next thing that I need to replace, which I haven't done yet, is the windscreen wipers. Now they're like I said, they're about 4 years old. They've covered only about 100,000 kilometers, and they're starting to get a little streaky. You might be able to notice things with the when I'm doing my road views as such. When I'm doing the road views, and you can see the bit of a streakiness when the windscreen wiper goes across. So that's just wear and tear on the windscreen wipers, which is fine. They're 4 years old. It's not too bad. So I'm going to try and find a Halfords, buy some windscreen wipers and fit them. So here we are. Wipers. Fitting is relatively easy, as Craig has shown in his video. So I'm probably just going to fit these and be done with them. They weren't too bad. These were £34, and they're sort of like the premium brand ones. You can get them cheaper. I just bought them here in Halfords. You can get them cheaper, but I figured, why not? This car deserves a little bit of TLC.